The 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. Jasmine gives birth, and Darcey sheds tears for Georgi for the first time. To put it simply, the most recent episode of 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After was nothing short of emotional pandemonium and naked human vulnerability. It was the kind of reality TV moment that leaves viewers riveted to their TVs, clutching tissues, and texting friends in astonishment. Whether it was Jasmine's long-awaited arrival or Darcey's anguish over Georgi, this episode was filled with emotions, stress, and even some small miracles. The moment of Jasmine's miraculous occurrence. Jasmine Pineda has finally given birth, putting an end to the months of speculation, emotional breakdowns, and dramatic scares that she had after giving birth. The Panamanian firecracker, who has been a fan favorite and, at times, a fan headache, has finally given birth to her child with Gino Palazzolo following the birth of her child. Not only did Jasmine scream and cry, but she also yelled at Gino at one point too, "Stop breathing so loud." The scene was just as dramatic as one would have anticipated it to be. In spite of everything that was going on, there was something that was indisputably stunning. Even though he was wearing his characteristic hat in the delivery room because, of course, he did, Gino was obviously shaking as he held their infant for the very first time. A sudden surge of tenderness was sent to watchers who have been following their rollercoaster relationship by his awkward smile, teary eyes, and tender voice stating, "We did it, babe." Watchers have been following their relationship. "This baby is our love, our new beginning," Jasmine said, despite the fact that she was totally fatigued but radiant. It was a strong line, especially when one considers how tense things had been between them just a few weeks before to this. Fans will remember her sobbing, accusing Gino of not providing her with emotional support, and Gino's defensive response of alleging that she was too dramatic. On the other hand, once the kid was born, it looked as though all of the shouting dropped into the background. Nevertheless, in typical Jasmine manner, the drama was not quite finished to begin with. It was stated that she became irritated that Gino did not bring her the right kind of hospital munchies just a few hours after she gave birth, which resulted in laughs and memes being shared across various social media platforms. Jasmine is unashamedly herself. Even after becoming a mother, she is passionate, unpredictable, and larger than life regardless of the circumstances. Heartbreak. The emotional breakdown that Darcey experienced due of Georgi during the time that Jasmine was experiencing the miracle of life. Darcey Silva was going through a different kind of emotional rebirth, one that was agonizing. As the gorgeous reality star's love with Georgi Rusev reached yet another stumbling block, viewers witnessed her experience grief for the second time. At the beginning of the episode, Darcey was seen sitting by herself in her hotel room, her mascara smudged, and staring out the window while gentle music played in the background. The words, "I just want to be loved for me," came out of her mouth with a cracking sound. This particular line struck me like a dagger, because if there is one thing that Darcey has always desired, it is love that is genuine and long-lasting. The relationship with Georgi, on the other hand, has been fraught from the very beginning. Arguments over vast distances, problems with trust, and feelings of envy have all contributed to the emotional turmoil that has characterized their relationship. At the beginning of this episode, Georgi made an effort to get back together with Darcey by delivering flowers and expressing her regret. On the other hand, rather than the potentially romantic reunion that fans might have anticipated, Darcey broke down in tears. As she wailed, "I can't keep doing this," she pleaded. "You claim that you have changed, but there is a feeling of déjà vu. I cannot construct a future on the basis of unfulfilled promises." Darcey was experiencing one of her most raw times to date. Georgi made an effort to comfort her by reassuring her that he was prepared to begin again, but the damage appeared to be too extensive. Darcey did not hurry into forgiving him, which was a welcome change. Instead, she took a few deep breaths and walked away, which was a modest step toward self-respect and healing that her admirers have been pleading with her to take for years. There was an outpouring of support for Darcey on social media. The decision that she made to put herself first was hailed as the most powerful moment of the season by a number of fans, who complimented her development. It appears that as Jasmine was beginning a new chapter in her life as a mother, Darcey was learning to let go of the past and start a new chapter in her own life separately. Heart. Two women, two different journeys. One of the things that made this episode so compelling was the emotional contrast that existed between Jasmine and Darcey. Throughout the course of the story, Jasmine embraced new life, forgiveness, and the messy beauty that comes from love's consistency. In contrast, Darcey's emphasized the importance of self-discovery, the experience of heartbreak, and the bravery required to break out from destructive cycles. Both of these women, individually and in their own chaotic ways, exemplified distinct shades of strength. Her fiery desire and fierce independence pushed her through the difficulties of love and pregnancy. Jasmine was able to overcome these obstacles. In spite of the fact that her heart was aching, Darcey's vulnerability and self-awareness demonstrated that sometimes what gives you strength is the power to choose yourself. The reactions of the fans went to X, which was formerly known as Twitter, and Reddit as soon as the show was broadcast in order to express their opinions. A viewer expressed their opinion by writing, "Jasmine yelling at Gino as she was in labor, and Darcey crying over Georgi in the same hour." It was TLC who actually said, "Emotions, activate." Someone else made a joke that said, "Gino has earned his own Emmy for keeping his hat on while he was giving birth." Others drew attention to the profound emotional similarities that existed between the two women. Jasmine discovered the benefit of love, and Darcey discovered love for herself. One of the fans stated that this is growth. Some concluding remarks: this particular episode of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After featured a roller coaster of feelings, ranging from the cries of a newborn to the cries of a heart that had been broken. The path that Jasmine took served to remind viewers that love, regardless of how tumultuous it may be, may in fact lead to beautiful beginnings. We were reminded by Darcey's that in the event that they bring about peace, endings may also be delightful. Because behind the cameras, the tears, and the chaos, these are real people searching for the same thing that we all want: love, acceptance, and a little bit of happily ever after. In the world of 90 Day Fiancé, where drama is constant and emotions run wild, it is moments like these that remind us why we continue to give the show our attention.